Take out part 5, 1 gear 8, 1 plastic gear small, and remove 1 C18. Take out 1 P8 sleeve, 1 P9 steel shaft, and 1 plastic spacer, then assemble them in order. After the shaft sleeve are assembled, the plastic spacer is extracted to ensure that the gear and other parts have a certain gap in order to operate normally. Take out 1 each of gear 8, plastic gear small, P9, steel shaft, and P8, sleeve. Remove C18, then assemble them in order. Remove 1 D5, 1 D5 plus, and 2 D16. Sand D5 and D5 plus with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Assemble them in order. Note, the gear with the smaller pinhole should be at the bottom. Take out the previously assembled part, and 1 P9 steel shaft, then assemble them. Remove 2 C20 and assemble them to complete the stern assembly. Turn the gear to check if it runs smoothly. Remove 1 each of I13, I14, I15, I16. Sand I13 and I16 with sandpaper and a wax chunk. Assemble them in order. Remove I23 and sand it with a wax chunk. It is recommended to also apply wax to the 4 small round holes of I23. Assemble them. Remove 1 I17, 2 I12, and sand I17 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Assemble them. Remove one I-24, one I-2. Take out one plastic gear big, 2 P9 steel shafts, 2 P8 sleeves, and one plastic spacer. Sand I2 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Then assemble them in order. Note that 2 sleeves need to be assembled for I2. Then assemble them. Remove 4 I-7. Take out 4 P9 steel shafts, 4 P8 sleeves, 1 plastic spacer, and assemble them in order. Remove 2 I-4, 1 I-8, 1 I-3. Sand I-8 and I-3 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Then assemble them in order. Then assemble it with the main structure. Remove I-10 and sand it with a wax chunk, then assemble it. Remove 2 I-4, 1 I-8, 1 I-9, 1 I-10. Sand I-8 with sandpaper and a wax chunk, and sand I-9 and I-10 with a wax chunk. Then assemble them in order. Remove 2i4, 1i10, 1i8, 1i9. Sand i8 with sandpaper and a wax chunk, and sand i9 and i10 with a wax chunk. Then assemble them in order. Remove 2i4, 1i10, 1i8, 1i3. Sand i8 with sandpaper and a wax chunk, and sand i3 and i10 with a wax chunk. Then assemble them in order. Turn the gears and adjust the angle of the gears to ensure they mesh properly. Apply wax to the areas on the back that need waxing. Take out the stern and assemble it. Turn the gear to check if it runs smoothly. Remove i1 and assemble it. Turn the gear to check if it runs smoothly. Take out part 3 and the LED board. Thread lamp 1 through the part as shown in the video. Then assemble it with part 3. Bend the small lamp. Remove I-21 and assemble it to secure the small lamp. Remove I-18, I-19 and sand them with a wax chunk. Assemble them in order. Then thread lamp 2 through I-18. Assemble them. Remove I-20 and assemble it. Turn the gear to check if it runs smoothly. Remove I-11 and assemble it to secure the wires. Remove one each of D19, D34, D18, D15. Assemble them in order. Then assemble it with the main structure. Remove one each of D19, D18, D34, D15. Assemble them in order. Then assemble it with the main structure. Organize the wires and small lamps. Note that the lamp 2 is assembled between the two plugs and must not extend beyond the plugs. Remove I-11 and assemble it to secure the wires. Note that the wire of lamp 2 is pressed together with the wire of lamp 1 and is fixed in the clip. Remove two C27 and one C29, then assemble them. Remove two C27 and one C29, then assemble them. Remove C26 and plastic film L1. Take out one of the previously assembled parts and assemble it. Note, the frosted side of the plastic film should face inward. Remove plastic film L4. Remove C33 and assemble it. Remove C28 and plastic film L2. Take out the previously assembled parts and assemble them. Remove plastic film L4. Remove C33 and assemble it. Take out the other side panel and the previously assembled main structure. Assemble them in order. Move the gears to adjust the angle of the side wings and help assemble the side panels. Remove I-22 and assemble it to secure the wires, completing the cabin assembly. Take out the base and the power transmission hub, and plug in the terminals. Organize the wires, then assemble them. It is recommended to straighten the wires as much as possible and organize them above and below the hull, so the middle holes do not accumulate many wires. Turn the front wing and adjust the gear angle to ensure the gears mesh properly. First, place the cabin onto the power transfer hub, then push it towards the bow of the cabin so that the socket can be fixed onto the latch. Turn the power switch to on, tap the touch switch, and check whether the gear works normally. If the gear does not run smoothly, it needs to be removed and rechecked whether the waxing positions marked have been waxed / whether the joints of gear parts have been polished smoothly. Please ensure that the operation is smooth before the next step of assembly. Remove 2D20 and assemble them. Check if the gears operate normally. Remove F3 and sand the corresponding area with a wax chunk. Remove F2, F42, and sand them with a wax chunk. Then assemble them. Remove F1, F0, and sand them with a wax chunk. Assemble them in order. Then assemble it with F3. Remove F8, F9. Sand them with sandpaper and a wax chunk. Then assemble them. Remove one F24, one F25, two F32. Sand F24 and F25 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Assemble them in order. Take out one P9 steel shaft, one P8 sleeve, one plastic spacer, and assemble them. Cut a piece of gold aluminum wire, thick, about 12 cm long, and remove F18. Bend the gold aluminum wire around F18, then trim the excess. Remove two each of F21, F16, F13, F20. Assemble them in order. Remove one each of F12, F17, F19, F14, F15. Assemble them in order. Note, the curved surface of F19 should face upward. Completed the assembly of part 6. Remove one each of E11, E13, F33, F28, F29. Sand F28 and F29 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively, and be careful not to apply too much wax. Take out two P7 steel shafts, one plastic spacer, and assemble them in order. Use auxiliary tools to support it, ensuring that the steel shaft is level with the bottom surface of the gear without any protrusion. Remove E15 and assemble it. Remove F28 and sand it with sandpaper and a wax chunk. Remove E14, take out one P7 steel shaft, and assemble them in order. Remove one F27, two F26. Sand F27 with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Assemble them in order. Remove F41, and sand it with sandpaper and a wax chunk respectively. Remove F34, take out acrylic, J1. Assemble them in order. Please remove the protective film from the acrylic surface before assembly. Note, the engraved lines on the acrylic should face gear F41. Remove F30 and assemble it. Remove 4F40, take out part 6. Assemble them in order. Remove F22, F23, and sand them with sandpaper and a wax chunk. Take out the previously assembled main structure, take out 1 P9, steel shaft, 1 P8, sleeve, 1 plastic spacer. Assemble them in order. Completed the deck assembly. Rotate the shaft to check if the gears run smoothly. If it doesn't run smoothly, please remove it and check whether the teeth of the gears have been smoothed, and whether the waxed area has been waxed. Take out the previously assembled main structure and assemble them together. When assembling the deck, be careful not to press on E11. You need to rotate the shaft to make the internal gears mesh with the deck before it can be assembled properly. Remove 2 F39, 1 light film and assemble them to secure the LED board. Note, the frosted side of the light film should face inward. Remove I11 and assemble it to secure the wires. Remove I11 and assemble it to secure the wires. The wire needs to be tightened and placed between the two pins, and then the clamping device should be fixed to prevent any interference with the gear operation. Remove A21 and assemble it. Remove F31, apply glue to it, then paste it. Take out 3 P10 round beads, apply glue to the designated areas, then paste them. Take out 3 P11 flat bottom gems, apply glue to the designated areas, then paste them. Remove one each of E24, E25, F40. Assemble them in order. Cut a piece of gold aluminum wire, thick, about 5 cm long, and bend it with the previously assembled part. Remove one each of E34, E26, E35, and assemble them in order. Then assemble it with the main structure, completing the assembly of Observatory 1. Remove E28, F40 and assemble them. Cut a piece of gold aluminum wire, thick, about 5 cm long, and bend it with the previously assembled part. Remove E25 and assemble it. Remove one each of E34, E27, E35 and assemble them. Then assemble it with the main structure, completing the assembly of Observatory 2. Take out Observatory 1, Observatory 2, and the previously assembled main structure, and assemble them together. Remove 2 pieces of cardstock, K3. Apply glue to the designated areas and paste the cardstock, K3. Remove one each of E10, E16 and assemble them. Remove one each of E10, E16 and assemble them. Remove one each of E12, E18 and assemble them. Remove one each of E12, E18 and assemble them. Remove G44. Remove G37, G33 and assemble them. Then assemble it with G44. Remove 5G28 and assemble them. Remove G34, G38 and assemble them. Then assemble it with G44. Remove 2G12, 1G42 and assemble them. Remove plastic film L8, fold it along the black lines, then assemble it. Remove 2G39, 1G26, and assemble them in order. Remove 2G4, 2G6, take out 2P14 metal rings. Open the metal rings, thread them through in order, then close the rings after threading. Completed the assembly of 2 standing lamps. 1. Remove 2G5, 2P14 metal rings, 2G6. Open the metal rings, thread them through in order, then close the rings after threading. Completed the assembly of 2 standing lamps, 2. Remove 1G11, take out 2 standing lamps, 1, 2 standing lamps, 2. Assemble them in order. Take out the previously assembled parts and assemble them. Remove plastic film L5, fold it along the black lines. Then assemble them. Note, the frosted side of the plastic film should face outward.